Thanks for joining us for another Chapters Health System Q&A. Doing things a little bit differently this week. I'm joined by Executive Director of the Foundation and VP of Development, Adam Stanfield, and we are certainly not in the same place today, but we are practicing safe social distancing and according to our safer at home guidelines. So Adam, thanks so much for being with us today.
Not a problem. We appreciate the opportunity and certainly all you're doing to help keep everybody informed of what's taking place across our system here.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly that. Things have been taking place across Chapters Health System, no doubt, for the past 2 weeks. It's been full of changes for everybody. You're no stranger to that in the foundation. What's it been like the past couple of weeks?
So it's been pretty interesting. The chapters, of course, a large portion of the workforce has gone to remote working. We are a much smaller body, so we were actually one of the ones that were able to capitalize on that first. Today, actually tomorrow, matter of fact, makes 2 weeks that the team, for the most part, has been working remotely. We have had 3 individuals working at the Azil office only because they did not have remote capabilities, but reaching out to Cheryl Seifack, she and Katie were able to make that happen. So we are 100% remote capable now, and we're keeping some audience at Azil just to keep processing the donations and receiving the kind of donations that are coming in.
And how has how has that changed on the donations front? With a lot of events being canceled and things like that, has it kind of changed the way that you guys do things?
Yeah, it has, and in times of disaster like this, it really the donor interest and the donor involvement really becomes something different than what it normally is. For instance, many people know that the second quarter, end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, really is our time to make hay in the sunshine. But so, clearly that's been impacted, and we've had to reschedule all of our spring events to the fall. And we do expect those events to, come through for us in a big way, just in a different time period. What that means to the foundation, though, is that's conceivably a $1.5, $1.7 million hit based upon just that event revenues that we won't necessarily be seeing in the next 3 months or so. That said, there is opportunity for us to play a role and support our healthcare team and our operations team across the system by changing our focus with donor engagement to disaster relief, of course. And certainly COVID-19 poses all of us a lot of risk, but also our patients as well, as we're seeing on the news. And certainly with what's coming in the pipeline, we fully expect to be able to, help support the needs of the system. And I say that because working with our operations team and our finance team, we've been able to determine that system-wise over the course of 10 days or so, we've invested over $800,000 in PPE, direct PPE-related equipment. And that is an unplanned, that is an unbudgeted cost for the system. And an ideal role for us to play would be to help offset that cost through engaging our donor community, both individuals and funding agencies alike. I am happy to report that to date, we have almost $1.1 million worth of requests out into the community, both through individual asks through our affiliate teams like Good Shepherd and HPH, but a significant proportion of that is coming through Lisa Muller, our new grant writer. So the timeliness of her onboarding was spot on. She jumped in and she's doing a wonderful job in terms of uncovering, researching, and identifying new donor opportunities that may hopefully come our way. So fingers crossed, everybody. And from an individual's donor's perspective, we developed a strategy, a phase strategy, if you will, once we knew that this was going to take shape in our local community. And because everything was so new in the beginning, we sent out general communications indicating that, hey, donors, we have this need coming up. We don't know exactly what it is right now, But we do know that we need certain in-kind contributions like food and donations of, various other things. In part of that communication, we also included general solicitations, which were plentiful for us. Kind of general, the everyday type giving that came through. So that was good. And then also we began to develop a community appeal that is going to be coming down the pipeline as a phase 3 strategy. So I think I skipped over the second phase of that, and that would be where the phase that we're really in now, the more specific ask, because we now know what the financial burden or the financial cost of COVID-19 is having on us already, and will continue to have for us going forward. That's pretty much on the individual side. On the granting side, of course, I mentioned about Lisa, and there are existing agencies out there now that would support our efforts, which we continue to solicit on behalf of Chapters Health System. But what also happens is you get various agencies that modify their focus because of the times of disaster, and they make it more specific to disaster relief. Agencies like the United Way and some of the other healthcare providers out there are changing their focal points to allow organizations like us to appeal to them in trying to alleviate some of this cost. So that's been pretty fluid. We have a whole list of opportunities that are presented to us. Lisa was able to uncover some corporate giving opportunities. So while she works on the funding agency side of things, I'm working on the corporate side of things, while everybody else is really working on the individual side. Nikki Powers, our Director of Annual Giving, of course, sent out a spring mailer that had a COVID-19 influence to it. And, now we're really at a point now where we're engaging the community on many different fronts. And the in-kind donations of food have been coming in. We're very appreciative of that, as most everybody out there that's watching this understands. There's been an appeal to the community for fabrics and things of that nature. I'm happy to report that our store teams initially started prepping for the time when all this breaks. So they're prepared to receive the donations that people are going to be no doubt bringing to us. But now what they're doing is they're supporting the logistical needs of the organization by shuttling fabrics and masks that have been made for us and donated for us. They're picking up, they're delivering, they're working with Chase Bacon over at the central repository to help move items to different areas of need. So again, the foundation is working on all fronts and just really looking to play a supportive role as best we can. Certainly through, the thick of all this, there comes the need to ensure that everyone is well-centered. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety out there. So we're doing things that can help support our caregivers. We have initiated a community-wide support for everybody everyone that's willing to create signs to show standing strong with our caregivers. We're getting a lot of pictures and photos that are through email and posting them on social media. So just know, caregivers and our hospice teams, that there are a ton of people out there that sincerely appreciate everything that you do. And although we're not going to necessarily be able to show all of it, we are showing as much as we can. Just a couple different other notes that I have here is we are developing home activities for our camps. Some of you may know that 2 of our camps, be it Good Shepherd and Life Path, had to be rescheduled till later in the year. Of course, that means there's concern for the kids that were anxiously awaiting going to camp. But what we're doing is we developed a camp at home. So they've been working diligently to prepare packages of camp-related activities and memorabilia that we're sending to the campers and their families, so they can concentrate on doing things at home in a productive manner while looking forward to the day that camp is going to once again dawn our threshold here. And then outside of that, we're just supporting the food drives and the sewing of the masks and trying to fit in wherever we possibly can, just to try to provide a little flexibility back to the system.
Yeah, I just want to comment on two things you mentioned there. One was, the social media channels. It's been really impressive to see the kind of support that you guys have been receiving and been sharing. Be it the photos of the people with the signs are definitely strong words of encouragement for all the caregivers. So I hope they know, how appreciated they are out there. And then all of the donated masks are just so impressive, and the numbers that we're getting them in is just really. There's some really generous people out there.
Yeah, very true. When all this was breaking, before we separated as a team, we got together and huddled up and kind of took a look at what we could somewhat expect going forward, and having worked, through hurricanes and stuff at, different industries and whatnot. Times like this that brings out the best in many people. And that was something that I shared with our team, is that we're going to have a lot of great stories and a lot of great information that we can use in productive ways going forward. And I think, to your point about the volume of masks that are out there and the volume of food that's coming in, is really just indicative of us as Tampa, as the city. But then also, it provides a little faith back in humanity, that when the time calls, that people are stepping up and supporting their fellow brothers and sisters there. One other thing I just wanted to mention is we've been working diligently in trying to supplement our caregiving teams and operations teams with foodstuffs, if you will. The foundation initially did a pizza day at Life Path, and HPH was able to uncover the Firehouse Subs in Spring Hill, and they provided 200 subs and meals to all of our HPH team members. We were able to do gift cards over to through Casper's for McDonald's for our Life Path team, and Okeechobee received subs from their local franchise. So, again, just a lot of great stuff going on, and it really makes my heart happy to see all the community support out there.
That's great. And, I actually got to go behind the scenes a little bit with the making of the camp at home. And I know there's probably some kids that are disappointed that they might have to wait for camp this year, but I can promise you there's some good things coming in the mail for you guys. It is going to be really cool to open up those packages each month.
Absolutely. And like I mentioned, it did originate in Life Path, but I'm happy to report that NHPH are launching the same initiative, as is the Good Shepherd community. So, this kid should be receiving some camping kits here shortly, and puts a big smile on our face,
All right. Well, it sounds like you have no shortage of things to keep you busy, so I'm not going to take any more of your time. But thank you so much for taking a few minutes here and keeping us informed of all the awesome things the foundation has going on.
Well, I appreciate you and your team doing all that you're doing, Pat. Appreciate the reach out and the opportunity to share the role that we're playing. And we just want to, all of us, all 33 people, again, in the foundation, we come to work every day in support of our caregiving and affiliate communities. So, keep doing what you're doing, hospice, palliative care, home health. You guys are the rock stars in all this, and we're happy to support you in any way we can.
All righty. And for everybody watching at home right now, we will include ways you can get in touch with the foundation if you can help in any way. These guys are always available to pick up the phone or answer an email and get in touch with you. We will go pick up donations right at your door. You can just leave them outside. Don't have to worry about coming in contact with anybody. We'll take care of it. Just reach out to these guys and we'll make it happen.